guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about OCD, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Now, I'm going to talk from my own experience. I have Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. My therapist has diagnosed me with Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. I'm not just claiming to have it. I've been diagnosed with it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with OCD and what it's like, because it's one topic that's so complex and people often have misconceptions about it. It's not just washing your hands all the time or liking your room to be clean. Like, people throw OCD around all the time. I have OCD. Oh yeah, I have OCD. You're so OCD. People use it all the time and they throw it around like it's just such a common thing. It's really not that common, and people don't realize the distress it causes to someone who suffers with it. And yes, it can be a comical thing sometimes. Sometimes the things people do seem so silly, and yeah, I mean, sometimes it is kind of laughable, and I try to joke with myself about it too, but it does cause distress, and that's what you do need to remember, so you have to be sensitive about it. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, obsessions are thoughts, often called intrusive thoughts, that enter your mind and you can't really get rid of them. If you try to push them away, they only get stronger, and so you're not supposed to try to push them away. And in this video I'm going to talk about how to help with your OCD thoughts, and first in this video I'm going to talk about what they're like, and then I'm going to make a video talking about how to help with them. So first I'm going to talk about what it's like. So you have these thoughts in your head, you can't really push them away, and I'm just going to talk about how to deal with it too, but then there's so I'm going to talk about how to deal with it too. So you have these thoughts and you can't really push it away. You're not supposed to try, because the more you try to push it away, the louder it gets in your head. And and then the compulsion is an action that you do in hopes that it will get rid of the obsessive intrusive thought. Let me give you, also very common with OCD is that you feel like if you don't perform the action, something bad will happen. And that in itself becomes an intrusive thought. It's kind of complicated, but let me explain. So the other week, I was trying to sleep, and I scratched one side of my nose. And I had the thought that if I did not scratch the other side of my nose, something bad was going to happen. And it feels so real. And in real life, nothing bad's gonna happen because I didn't scratch the other side of my nose. But in my brain, that feels so true. Another example, I like to check locks. And I feel like if I don't check the lock to make sure it's locked, something bad's gonna happen. Someone's gonna break in the one time I don't check it. So I have to make sure I check it like once or twice. And I have to work to make sure I'm not checking it 4 or 5 times. Like, I have to make sure I don't. Like, you have to resist the urge, and that's a huge component of how to deal with OCD. So how to deal with OCD? It's a complicated process, but it helps so much. My therapist has helped me tremendously with OCD. Now, to deal with OCD, you have to label the thought. So the obsessive thought comes into your head. For instance, let me think. For instance, I want to scratch the other side of my nose. If I don't scratch the other side of my nose, something bad's gonna happen. I have to label that thought as an OCD thought. So tell myself, Annie, that's an OCD thought. That is your OCD brain telling you this thought. It's not you, it's your OCD. And then with that kind of helps you distance yourself from it. Also, don't try to push it away. The more you push it away, the louder it gets, and the more tired you get, because it's distressing sometimes. For instance, some people with OCD get homicidal ideation. Excuse me, and that's not pleasant to have homicidal ideation. I mean, think about it. Not pleasant, because then you think you're a bad person. But if you label it as an OCD thought, and you realize that's not me, that's my OCD brain, it helps you distance yourself from that distressing thought. And then another way my therapist has really helped me is with this analogy, okay? Now bear with me. Imagine you're in a pool and you're swimming. You're just by yourself, you're swimming, you're having a good time, you're enjoying the sunshine, the nice breeze, and the nice water. And then someone throws a beach ball into the pool. But you don't want to play with the beach ball. So you just look at it, and you're like, oh, that's a beach ball. And you keep swimming. And then, as you're swimming, the beach ball kind of bumps into you once in a while. But instead of constantly trying to throw the beach ball out of the pool, or pushing it away, you just let it bump into you, and you keep swimming. Like, oh, it bumped into me, but that's okay. I'm gonna keep swimming. Now, in this analogy, the beach ball is the intrusive thought. You're you, and the pool is your brain, basically. Now, the beach ball, which is your intrusive thought, likes to bump into you once in a while, but you don't try to push it away, because it's just gonna come back. If you throw it out of the pool, the wind's gonna push it back in, or that person's gonna throw it back in, or if you push it away, it's really just gonna flow back to you in a matter of time. So you just acknowledge its existence and you move on. That's the same with an OCD thought. You acknowledge it, don't ignore it. Acknowledge its existence, label it. That's a beach ball, that's an OCD thought. It bumped into me, but that's okay. I'm going to move on. In a sense, you're gonna let the beach ball, your intrusive thought, just sit beside you. And you're gonna continue on with your life. It's like, oh, it's right here with me, but that's okay. I'm gonna continue. Alright? So I really hope that this video helped you learn about obsessive compulsive disorder and realize that it causes mental distress. The disorder part is how much it interferes with your life, but it also, besides that physical interference, it causes a lot of mental stress and anguish. Not always for every action or every compulsion or obsession, but it can. It can be very annoying. And I'm sorry for any of you who are dealing with it. But I hope this video helps you understand it, helps you have more empathy for people who are going through it. And I'm not saying that you're an evil person if you go around saying you have OCD. Like, people like to say it. It's a normal thing for people to go around and be like, I have OCD, I have OCD. You're not an evil person for saying that. And I've done it too. Before I was diagnosed, I used to say that. Oh, I have OCD, you're so OCD. And I still say it sometimes. You're not an evil person, but I just want you to understand what real OCD is like. And I hope this video helped you. And I hope that these coping skills I gave you to help with OCD help you, and if they do, let me know. I'd be really interested to know if they help you. If you need more explanations or any help, just let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, alright? Love you. Bye.